got to talk to the Muslims, the Sinhalese and the Tamils there. So that is the one, so but North is virtually ready for implementation in time. Yeah.
In this matter, this page, this paper at page 14, I must say, is wholly unsatisfactory.
13 or 14?
Page 14.
Yes, okay, this is 13, my page, right.
Wholly unsatisfactory because even if you look at the recent history, after the war ended, President Mahinda Rajapaksa himself has made 3 joint statements with India. Now we are saying this just before you go to India. Joint statements, all 3 were made with India. And the joint statement said, we'll implement the 13th Amendment in full. Not full minus police powers, no. He said 13th Amendment in full and building upon it so as to achieve meaningful devolution. So there were 2 issues that were considered. One, that it has not been implemented in full yet, and that will be done. Second concession is that it is not meaningful. That is why it will be made meaningful. Even if you implement it in full, it is not meaningful devolution. That will be built upon in such a way as to achieve meaningful devolution. Not once, not twice, 3 times joint statements were made with India. Now that was the position of UPFA government. Now under the in the last parliament, when you were chairman of the steering committee of the Constitutional Assembly, the Prime Minister was a member of the steering committee. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 cabinet ministers who are here were all members of the steering committee. Mr. Sumanthiran and I were there. On devolution, we arrived at certain measure of agreement. In fact, Honorable President Ranatunga and Honorable Susil Premajan and another member, a 3-member ad hoc committee made a report also.
I have that also, yes.
Made a report also. So we arrived at fair amount of consensus on that. There was a subcommittee on devolution of police power, in which Honorable Namal Rajapaksa was also a member, and they gave a report on how that can be devolved. All that was achieved. So now to go back and say exception of police powers and then safeguard full powers doesn't seem a meaningful effort at all. They going back on promises by both sides, both the UPFA at that time and the current hybrid government.
Okay. Firstly, I am Ranil Wickramasinghe and not Ranil Rajapaksa. So I am not bound by. I am not going to say what President Rajapaksa did, but I do go along with him saying that there has to be full implementation of the 13th Amendment. But in the discussions we had earlier, when I mentioned full implementation, there was a big outcry, and we decided that we'll go ahead and take up police powers later. So you got to decide on that. Rest of it, I have asked you all to be in a committee to work with Susil Premajan and the Minister Prasanna Ranatunga, both of whom are there, so you can finish all the details with them. I read the report that you all had done even 2 days ago. I am in agreement with that. I haven't seen Namal Rajapaksa's report. So both of them, and there is the Minister for Justice. So we have to decide whether we are going ahead with this, whether you all want to go ahead with this or not, because we have to draft the legislation. Then other bills are what we have done. And third, I have put one to catch up with any. I think you, there are any matters belong to the provinces which is being administered by the center, we'll take it back to the provinces. So we are prepared. I think the disagreement seems to be only on what we do with police powers. Everything else is there. So
our position is that there was a deadline that you gave, 4th of February. Nothing happened. Then you said before last meeting, you said before end of July. None of that is listed here, can be done before end of July. Right? So So we don't want to be party
Okay.
to something that is indefinitely strung
I-
along the way.
I-
But we are not opposed to you implementing any of these things.
No, as far as we are concerned, as far as I am concerned, I didn't say I am going to implement everything. I said the proposal will be given to you before 31st July. And now I have given the proposals. So question is, do we go ahead with it or not? Do you want to support it or not?
No,
Do you want to talk it or not?
No, these proposals
Okay.
we don't accept as genuine power sharing proposals.
Okay. But I have
But
not
we
put
will
the...
not stand in the way. We will not stand in the way of government implementing this.
I am going to talk to the other party leaders before I have to speak to you. Next round will be them. If they want to go beyond this, I have no problem. So we will tell them this is what is on. If do you want this, do you want it less or do you want it more? I will not give it less. But if everyone agrees to give more, I will add it. I mean, why should I take this thing? But remember what I offered you in 2005 when you rejected. Don't do the mistake again. That's all that I can tell you. As far as I am concerned, these proposals will be put forward to all the party leaders.
He is the one who rejected it.
Huh?
Rejected.
You all also rejected, he also rejected. All rejected. Yeah. No, so anyway, what am I going to do? We will we'll discuss with them and we'll draft the constitutional amendments with the other political parties, as you know, subject to agreement by leaders of the parties in parliament. And when that is done, we will go ahead. The bills we can pass anyway, we will pass the bills establishing all this. As far as the constitution amendment, we will finally draft and put it to parliament, and that the parliament must either pass it or they must reject it. I haven't got 2/3, but I am determined to solve this issue. So all the other matters also will be put down. Where there is regulation, there will be regulations. Where there are laws, there will be laws. Where there is constitutional amendments, we will present the constitutional amendments. I am prepared to go all that way.
Let me put forward my party's position.
Yeah.
We are of opinion that anything that strengthens the 13th Amendment and is going to be put into operation is the immediate need of the country at the moment. So therefore, everything that promotes that should be attended to, and as soon as possible, the provincial councils should come into effect.
Yes,
And should be able
so you
to-
give us your views on it, because the ministers committee will start sitting in about a week's, 2 weeks time, and we'll tell all of you, those who want to come can come, others won't come. And in the meantime, I will also speak with the other party leaders and find out what their views are and come along. We have no difficulty at that. But I am trying to resolve, at least I am going most of the way. If you
Your
don't want
Excellency,
it,
we appreciate the efforts you're trying to solve this issue once and for all. And as you said earlier in your speeches that there is a short-term solution and a long-term solution. And I believe this is the immediate solution that we could all come into consensus. And we will support you on this immediate solutions. But we'll discuss further on the other ones as well.
okay.